Looking to improve your fitness business while keeping your bottom line in good shape? Let the Gym Administrator help you achieve those goals. With their powerful team of fitness industry professionals at the ready, the Gym Administrator covers a wide range of industry-related products and services that will help you build your business and increase profits. The Gym Administrator works with reliable industry suppliers and vendors that place a heavy emphasis on service, just the way you remember it. Give them a call at 914-494-1066 or visit them on the web at thegymadministrator.com as well as all social media platforms. The Gym Administrator, all your fitness needs under one roof. Scan the barcode at the bottom of the screen to get started today.
We're supposed to be out of the room, and you brought it into the room. So let's just have the
I've had a bad day,
and it's okay.
I don't know what to say. Go ahead.
So let's just talk about it. So everybody that's here, and anyway, the main show's at 9. The guest, Ulysses Diaz, he asked if he could come on next week because after fighting on Friday, he's also doing a marathon. So this guy is a total beast, man.
Well, some people hustle, some people talk. Go ahead.
Okay. So for some of the people that may be aware of the channel, Jimmy and I are the founders of the Monty DeFaro channel, and we were happy enough to have this great family that comes in every Thursday, and we have this great producer, Bruce, and we're now in Tin Mirror Studios. Long story short, we built a friendship with Benny Scala, who is one half of Dan and Benny in the Ring, and Dan and Benny came on to the channel, right? We're trying to build entertainment for all of us every week, and we love Dan and Benny, and then Phil, the president, he's been quite the gentleman, and he does a regular show, and then Bruce, who originally came on as a sponsor, that's ESO Creative. ESO has become a very close family member, and he does whatever he can to help the show.
He does. He does.
We might as well just tell the story now, and then I'll have you go in. So Benny has a friendship with a guy named Joe Lowry. I don't know anything about him. Benny says, I think he'd be a fantastic addition. All right, Benny, we totally go. Benny's, we just want to give good product and some entertainment and laughs because life is hard enough for everybody. So he brings Joe Lowry on, and Joe has a very significant resume, according to Joe, and he's professionally trained, and he used to do radio back in the early 90s or whatever. I don't know the whole story.
Okay.
Never really made contact with the guy. Bruce, ESO, who is a business owner and is quite the graphic artist, among other things. Somehow, Joe is banned. Welcome. Joe did not get along. He did not get along with Bruce right from the beginning. Don't know why. Again, I wasn't getting involved. I wasn't getting involved. Figured they.
I wasn't either.
Right. No, you weren't. Figured they'd work it out, and then Joe became a little overbearing. So I'm not.
Fair.
Listen, this is Jimmy and I's channel, but
that's fair.
Sometimes I'll take a lead on something, and I had a discussion with Joe Whatta, and I told him, look, Bruce is a personal family member of ours, and not to mention a close friend. And whether you think that you're better than him and better than everybody else doesn't matter, right? Our friendships are much more important. So we thought we had put all this bullshit to bed. And then Joe was doing other shows, which I think you all saw, and Joe was kind of glomming the it's a shoot loose. Joe was glomming all the time. Again, me and Jimmy really weren't on these shows, right? But the complaints were coming in from people in the channel. And
Mike, if I can get this in quick, because, look, I want this to be accurate, okay?
Sure, go ahead.
I personally didn't know Joe before he came on the channel, and after he came on the channel, I started getting texts like almost every morning, whether it was from one family member or another. I was like, and I'm trying to work just like you are. We got full-time jobs, we got lives and everything like that. We got shit to do and
oh, by the way, he says no proof. What a day is on, so keep talking because, go ahead.
I don't give a shit if What a Day is on. What else
One
is
of the
new?
higher
He needs
ups.
some attention. He's on the chat. Congratulations. Welcome to the Monty and the Pharaoh Show, Joe. You're welcome. All right. So anyway, look, and by the way, how am I supposed to stay in touch with a guy who's like, completely slamming someone I've known for over 40 years?
Which would be me. Which would be me.
Show?
Which would be me, right?
Yeah, shitting on the show. If the show was so bad, why were you always wanting to be on every day? Okay? If it was so bad, all right? Your response that I saw on emails was uncalled for. Whatever was going on with you and Mike did not have to include F-bombs and a-holes and a whole bunch of other stuff. And, you probably should have been worried that you didn't hear back from me because the whole time I've been processing. All right? Look, here's the deal. We have our channel. You're not on it anymore. Go do your own thing. Get the fuck off our chat and do your own thing. Prove to yourself what you already think you are. Okay? You fucking put down everybody. I know this for a fact, and I also know that everybody was pissed off at you. And I used to hear it every day. I'm not interested in being your friend. I'm not interested in being your ally or your compadre. I'm not interested in any of it. All right, dude? I've been quiet. I've been nice. I've been cool. I'm done. All right? You're done. Do your thing. All right? And as far as our business goes, none of your business. None.
So let me carry on a few things so everybody else understands. So Jimmy, I appreciate it, but here's the situation. Again, I didn't care about Joe. Didn't matter to me. I do whatever you want. Do all your shows. So then Joe kept on putting on copyrighted stuff because Joe has a listening issue. So I would then reprimand Joe with everybody on there. Yes, I would send an email out. Thank you, Mitch. And I would say, hey, you're using copyrighted material like you do on your channel, using people's music, videos, etc.
Can't do that.
You can't do it, right?
That.
We know no one knows better than us, right?
Absolutely.
Then he has the audacity to say that I made artwork of a fake YouTube showing a fake copyright, which was utterly ridiculous. So then again, Joe has spent most of his time kissing Bill Apter's ass, right? His mentor, a 58-year-old as a mentor, right?
I'm sure he's his mentor.
Right.
Like I'm sure the Mets are better than the Yankees.
So Joe gets to do a Sportskeeda thing with Vince Russo.
Well,
I don't know if everybody saw
That's
it
cool.
there, right?
Whatever. That's cool.
So then, I don't care. But then Joe sends an email to everybody, and everybody was upset over it. Was that, hey man, I finally hit the big time. Don't hold me to the exact words.
What? Then he'll be happy to take us along for the ride after he's been with us for a month.
Something stupid. Like it was just dumb.
Listen. Let me say this to the chat because I really love the people who come and watch the show every week. He also belittled you because there's not enough of you. He's decided that since when you're on the air with Vince Russo and you're on a channel that has 100 whatever plus thousand subscribers, that somehow now we're rinky dink. Okay, we did everything the real way and the hard way. We have now twice approached 20,000 plus on 2 different channels. Okay, we did everything the hard way.
By the way, Jay Will, thank you, sir. Jay Will gave us a little pop. Thank you so much.
But let me just say to the chat, though, I got to get this out. Guys, I'm sorry if I come across like a dick today. I don't mean to be, but you guys really don't know what goes on behind the scenes here. And for well over, how long has he been on the channel with us? As long as it's been going on, I've had multiple family guys, just texting me, complaining to me. And then I talk to you, and I'm like, what's going on here? Listen, Joe, you got great ideas and you think you know everything about this business and you've got all the advice in the world for guys who've been doing this for 7 years, and just because there's no Rolls Royce in my driveway means that we have a dark and dingy channel. Piss off. All right?
Joe says you're lying. Joe says you're lying, Pharaoh. You're lying.
In what way am I lying, Joe? And get the fuck off the chat. He didn't even listen. Get off the chat.
He doesn't listen. So here's the reality.
What am I lying about?
I have no problem. I have no problem with Joe Whatta Day, right? Then Jimmy calls me finally. No,
I do now.
No, I'm talking about before.
Yeah.
Jimmy calls me and says, you know what? I'm tired of him attacking Bruce. I'm tired of him talking shit about Benny. I want him off the channel, right? When Jimmy tells me something, then I got to get involved. So what do? We kick him off the channel. Then We have a conversation with him because he wants to come back on the channel. It was you, me, and him, right, Jimmy? And if he could have licked your balls any closer, like he could have licked on your balls any closer, you know.
Mike, the reality is that he didn't lick anybody's balls because he didn't listen to a word we said.
No, he didn't.
Just continued to be a bull in a china shop.
Right.
And it really was very disappointing because Joe does have some positive things about him. Okay? So I see it as a blown
What do you mean?
opportunity
What do you mean that he has children he doesn't take care of? Oh, I'm sorry.
Wow.
I'm sorry.
Is that I don't know. I don't know.
Have you ever heard him? Have you ever heard him talk about his children?
Let me go get a 10-foot pole so I don't have to touch this one. What are you? Holy shit!
So anyway, let's talk about this. So then he goes and does an interview with Gerard, who is pro Mel Phillips, right?
Right.
And he goes on to kind of like make Gerard look really bad. Right, going out of his way to make. And the problem with people on the channel, other than myself, other than you, was that he was trying to make our channel look bad. These are facts, okay?
Right.
He could talk about all the lying he wants. So then I had a personal conversation with him, and he went on to tell me that I wasn't dedicated enough to the channel, and I don't know what it takes to make it in this business. This is a guy. This is a guy who doesn't have a job. That's a fact, right?
Okay.
Lives off his girlfriend.
Okay.
That's a fact.
Okay.
These are all facts, right?
I'm not arguing them.
All right.
I'm listening.
And he's gonna tell me my dedication to the channel. I don't know. And then here's the ultimate thing, which, guys, you got to understand this. He says to me, right, and I would never have told Jimmy this because Jimmy would have lost his shit. Your commercials are terrible. Let a professional do them, right? And I said, don't worry about it. I don't need your help. So finally he begs enough, and we have a gym sponsor, and he does it. He then charges the channel for his commercial. Meanwhile, he's begging to come on to the Tony Gurria interview, and these are all facts, guys. I sent him an invoice for $125 a question. If you're going to charge me for a commercial, I'm going to charge you for the interview. And he was totally taken aback from that because he doesn't even understand. Listen, here's the facts. I wouldn't even associate with this guy if it wasn't for my friend Benny who said bring him on, okay? And you know what? It's not Benny's fault.
No,
right? He thought he knew the guy. And again, there's not a clash between me and him. He means nothing to me. He's nobody. He's garbage. Who cares? Go back on your YouTube channel where no one's watching and you know so much about the business. Go lick, someone's ass and beg them to put you on Sportskeeda, and that's it. And again, if anybody else on the channel wants to go follow him, go follow him. Because he's so fucking entertaining. You know what I mean?
Right.
I mean, this is a guy that has an interview with a girl who's a comedian about sex, and the sex jokes are going over his head. I was laughing to myself. Fucking hack. He's a hack.
Well, you know what? Let's just talk numbers, too, by the way. What you were charging him for was fair because Tony Gurria is not for free, and he wanted 15 minutes, and that was basically prorated 15 minutes worth of what it cost Tony Gurria. No wrestler is free, okay? We reinvest in our channel. We do the best we can. We're regular guys. We don't come from inside the business.
Nope.
We're not famous pro wrestlers.
Nope.
We're not famous announcers.
Nope.
We're not connected to the business other than the fact that we're two guys who love pro wrestling. We turn around whatever money we can make on the channel and we put it right back into the product. In case you haven't noticed, Joe, we have a library with well over 100. And they're a lot of big names, and you know they are, okay? That takes investment. That takes money, okay? Now, if you're going to give advice to two guys who you think are buying bots, which is completely false, that's disgusting. Because, by the way, now, Mike, I hope you don't mind that I say this, but if Mike wanted to be dishonest with the money that Mike makes in his real life, because Mike is very successful, we would have about 250,000 subscribers right now views through bots.
Thank you.
And I know for a fact that Mike is not doing that because I know that Mike would do that if he was a prick. Mm-hmm. All right? He is not a prick. All right? What you're describing is somebody that you had a conflict with because you decided your channel, which happens to be older than ours by quite a bit, with your 534 subscribers, you decided to tell two guys who were happy to have you on the channel, who wanted you to contribute and not make a ton of noise or give us a ton of advice. Benny doesn't. You know how long Dan and Benny been doing this? You know how many episodes they've cut? Phil, who goes back to the days of Boston wrestling, who, despite what some people may think, we respected Marati's channel. Hell yeah. He did a good job.
Absolutely.
Okay? He worked hard at it. He invested back in his product. Maybe he wasn't so nice to some of the wrestlers, but he invested back in his product. He was a regular guy who loved pro wrestling and built his machine. Okay? Bots? Sorry, bro. Fuck you. That is so fucking insulting to me, okay? All right? It's the bottom line. And I wasn't going to have this conversation with you on the phone. You want to play these fucking games? I don't play these fucking games, okay? You're getting the Pharaoh now. You're getting the real deal, all right? I haven't accused you of anything here. Everything that I have said so far is accurate. I got calls every morning. Every damn morning.
Hold on, I gotta say something. Joe says Mike is not well, needs help. Mental Health Awareness Month. Again, from what I understand, Joe, you went and hid and disappeared for 2 years because I don't know what kind of addictions you had, right? But no, I'm saying it. I'm saying it.
Right.
Okay.
That's his deal.
Doesn't take care of his kids. Disappeared for 2 years. And listen, dude, you know what? He's a nobody. I don't care. Here's the facts. We just wanted to bring on entertainment. We thought there was value there. He ended up being a clown, and that's it. And if he expects to get, Benny, we've known Benny a long time. Benny, a pretty long time. He's the sweetest pie, man. He doesn't want to hurt anybody's feelings. He doesn't want the drama. He doesn't want to.
By the
and
way,
Phil, by the way, he doesn't want drama either.
Phil's a good soul. Benny's a good soul. Bruce is a very good soul
Absolutely.
too. They're all good. They're all good people.
Absolutely.
And they're not filled with overbearing advice. If there's anything I can't stand, it's like, I didn't get where I am today by where are you? What do you mean? Why are you shoving your opinion down our throat? Why do you have to headbutt? You know what Mike needs help over? Mike needs help over having to deal with the fact that he served this country, so someone like you could just give him hell. What is wrong with you?
Here's the reality. I want to give a shout out to Maria Davis. Maria Davis was invited by Joe onto his channel. Right, okay. Maria? You hear me out there. Okay? This was Joe trying to get people to swing over to his channel. He never wanted to really help this channel. He wanted to get himself over. Okay?
And you know
Mitch
what?
Seinfeld's asked, is Joe on SSI? He might be.
Mike, I heard that every morning from the guys. I heard it every morning for quite a while.
But Joe doesn't believe you. Joe thinks that's a lie. Okay.
Well, Joe, I hate to break it to you, and I don't mean to put others under the bus, but you know what? I think that they're man enough to say to you, what did you become? Okay? What did you become? All right? Because I am telling you, wait, hold on. They said it to me. They said it to me almost every morning for weeks. All right? Do I look like I'm fucking lying, bro? Would I come on the air and do this? Would I?
Nope.
Really? You really think I'm lying? I'm not lying, dude. And you might find that to be shocking, but here's a little thing that might help you out in the future. In this business, everybody is working everybody. Even your friends. All right?
Our friend Foxhole Willie says, Joe, what a day, all every day. Lowry, all fluff, no substance. Again, we weren't even going to talk about this, dude, but I don't know.
No, it's actually my fault because you know what? It's been burning at me. I don't know. Look, life is hard enough, and it's hard enough to do the hard work we've put into this, and I can't even begin to say how much I love all the people that are in the chat every week and how much I appreciate the fact that they get what we're trying to do, okay? We're not trying to be like everybody else. We're not ESPN. We absolutely are different, and we're proud of it. We want to be unique. Our commercials fit our show. Now, you may not realize that, but I know for a fact that they do fit our show, okay? Jimmy, I got to take a dump. What is loved? I've had multiple people tell me that multiple times, okay? The Maven commercial is fantastic, and it's all organic. And maybe that's what drives you crazy, is that we don't have to practice at anything. We just let the light go on, and here's the big key, we're ourselves. Okay? We didn't read it in a book. We didn't see it in a tutorial video. We're ourselves. All right? Now, look, let me just get this in, Mike.
Wait a minute, hold on. And by the way, since Joe's the subject, this is the most people that ever cared what Joe thought is his entire life. So congratulations, Joe. You finally made it somewhere, buddy. But go ahead.
Wow, I can blame myself for starting this, too. Unbelievable.
Hey, Luce, you're right. You're right. Missy Beefer, she knows Joe. And boy, does she tear him apart to me on a I talk to Missy almost every day. Haven't talked to her last week. She knows Joe, and she tears him apart on a regular basis.
I got to be honest, because, Mike, you know I'm not a bad dude. I don't wish ill will on anybody. I have to admit that when Missy tore him apart on the show, I was actually upset for Joe. Was I surprised? Not at all, man, because this is wrestling. Everybody works everybody. I wasn't surprised at all. But I was disappointed for Joe. So, Joe, just in case you think I really don't give a shit about you as a human being, that's not the case, man. You said a lot of things, you butted a lot of heads, and you pissed me off. I'm sorry. There's really no other way around it,
You know what? You're 100% right. Can I say what I have to say about Joe? Joe,
sure.
I did not dislike you, bro. I felt bad for you, bro. No, seriously. You don't have a job. You're living off you're a kept man. I mean, that's tough in itself. Imagine sitting at home and not being able to do, like, you don't even have your own cell phone. You have to share your girlfriend's cell phone because I guess she doesn't trust you with money. And I felt really bad for you. So when we gave you the opportunity to come to this channel, like, oh, finally Joe gets to, all that money he spent at the Connecticut School of Broadcasting, finally is going to come to some kind of, fruition. And man, oh man, Joe, it just didn't work out. But I feel bad for you, bro. It's like now you go do your Centerville stuff. And you know what he does really good? He loves to pay for cameos. He must go into the girlfriend's wallet, get a credit card, give Charlotte give Charlotte Flair $1,000 to do What a Day Joe videos that only get Charlotte Flair now, the top women's wrestler in the history of wrestling, garnered a whole 222 views in 3 years because that's worth $1,000, I think, right? But listen, Jimmy, you're right. You are a nice guy. You feel bad for Joe. I do too. I feel bad that this guy's a fucking loser. And I feel bad that, I got mad at him. He's got my emails from him. And, I basically told him, stop being a jerk off. Right?
Right.
Stop poking the bear. Right? Because that's what you were doing. You were poking the bear. What's up, Stevie? You were poking the bear. Well, you got the bear, you poked me, and you got the bear. And keep poking me, and then I'm going to poke someone else that's close to you for real, and then you'll really have nothing. Then you'll be living in a fucking cardboard box with a What a Day Joe magic marker on it saying, "Whatta, give me $1, please, for food." Is that it, Jimmy?
Well, I can't top that. I mean, you want me to top that? I mean, what are you going to put on the box? What, a carton? I mean, hey, look, at least Don Rickles did, right? Don't get that mad out there in TV land. Hello out there in TV land.
Again, I honestly do feel bad for the guy. But you know what? It's over. It's all over now. It's done. And Maria, back to you, just so I could share with you. He brought you on the show because he thought that you would come over and start going to his show, and then he could get RJ and Jay Will and Luce, he tried to embarrass me at the Stan Hansen interview. I think Jay Will, right? You asked a question, and he's like, Mike, he's asked a question. Ask him the question in the middle of the show.
Mike, I want to make sure that this is clear because you're telling me that while you're doing a live interview, a member of the family got on the chat and berated you for not asking the question right away.
That is correct.
You know your timing.
Thank you.
I'm sure you were going to get that question in, obviously, but you don't just drop the conversation that you're having with the wrestler to do that.
No.
That's abrasive.
No.
That doesn't let the conversation breathe, right?
I remember we were doing an interview, Jimmy, early on and we're having internet problems. I think we lost a guest or something. And he texted me on the phone. He goes, You and Jimmy are struggling. Let a pro in there to help you guys through this.
He said.
Yes.
He said, let a
pro come in and help you.
Oh, you know what? You know who really needs help? The two guys that Lanny Poffo, rest his soul, stopped in the middle of the interview, paused, thought deeply, and was like, you know what? This is a great interview. This is a great interview. Yeah, I need help because, after all, Ken Patera in private was like, you remind me so much of Bobby the Brain. You're hilarious. I need help. I clearly need help.
No, you're lying. You're lying. I'm telling you. Joe says you're lying. You're lying. You're not telling the truth. You're lying.
What am I lying about?
That's what Joe says. You're a liar. I don't know what to say.
Interesting.
You're
you know
liar.
What? Sandman thinks that I got good weed. I guess I'm lying about that, too.
More lies. More lies.
What are you going to do? What are you going to do?
How about when Sabu broke down crying and we had a massive hug for 5 minutes? Remember that one?
Sabu's a great guy, man. He's a great guy.
You know what? You know what the problem is? We don't say enough yups and ums during, like, when guys are talking. Listen to one of his interviews, guys. Go back and give him a couple of views and listen to him go like this. Yup, yup. I mean, that Connecticut School of Broadcasting. Don't put that guy as your advertisement, man, because ain't no one going to go pay for that kind of schooling. Do you think they taught him that? Okay, sit down. When you're interviewing someone, make sure that they know you're listening by saying yup and Let's try it, Jimmy. So, Jimmy, where were you born?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
I just can't believe that we spent almost 40 minutes on this fucking clown.
I know, it's my fault. It's actually my fault. But you know what? Here's the deal. After tonight, when the light goes off, that's the done deal. Whatever.
Yep.
Right. Exactly.
Yep.
Mike, you're so engaging. You're so engaging.
Yep.
This is a gripping conversation. Yep.
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 Jimmy, I love you, man. You know what?
I love you too.
You know what?
Yeah.
I don't care how many bots watch us. I love you.
I love the Monty and the Pharaoh show.
I am a bot. I am a bot. I am a bot. Oh, and by the way, everybody, so you know out there that Joe also got paid for doing shows, right? We paid him for all. So there's analytics, and you get paid for views. So I paid him for the views since he's been on the channel. He made himself $20. RJ Hudson says, Monty, when did you become as bad as Hannibal? Oh, RJ, that's so hurtful.
Wait a minute, RJ. I'll be right back. I got to do a Hannibal. I'm feeling sleepy. Hold on. Oh.
Lou says a bot with good comedic timing.
There you go. There you go.
That comedian that he was interviewing was really wanted to get into some of the down and dirty stuff, and he's like, what do you mean? What's a penis?
Oh no!
All right, we're out of gas with this guy already, man. Oh
my
God.
Yeah. Put the car out of its misery.
All right, let's go through some wrestling real quick
before
we get to the main show. Anyway, listen, everybody, we wish Joe Whatta Lowry the best.
That's in summer.
The best. We hope the best by fair. Go. I'm sorry. We wish you the best, and we hope that people come over to your engaging and much enjoyable programming that you do every day. Joe likes to read the dirt sheets and then post on it like it's his news.
Mike, did you ever wonder why I never picked up the phone to call him to give him some advice? Did you ever wonder why?
Why?
Because I knew he wasn't going to listen. You know what?
But Jimmy, you're not a professional. Why would he listen to you to begin with? He's a pro, bro.
You're right about that. I didn't go to the Connecticut School of Broadcasting.
We have
me and Mad Dog Russo. We didn't go to broadcasting school. I'm okay with that.
We have a video.
Yeah.
And he's like, "That's a terrible video. You should do what I did with Charlotte Flair." Hold on, Joe wrote ESO.
What?
Hey there, Mike told me last week to give you my PayPal address for payment for February. It's for $35. Here's my PayPal. So Mike throws you under the bus, and you're okay with that? I have all the
What?
emails and legal documentation. He thinks I'm throwing Bruce under the bus.
Okay.
It's like legal documentation. What kind of legal documentation do you have? I need to understand what legal documentation is.
I heard it's a 63-page document. Is that true?
It could be. It could be. It could be.
Go.
No,
there
on a serious
way,
note, what is a legal document? An email? In fact, you know what the funny thing is, Jimmy? Isn't Benny, ESO, Phil, Dan, and yourself on every response that I sent them?
Yeah.
So was I hiding anything? No. When I called him a friggin' moron, it was to everybody.
Right. The whole time.
The whole
entire time.
There was no private.
Yeah,
he tried to email me privately, but I wasn't going to go for that, right?
Right.
I mean, I wanted everybody to understand that I thought he was a fucking moron.
Right. Fair enough. Fair enough.
Anyway, again, all I know is the story that Missy Beefcake said is that he came over. He wanted Brutus to give him a shout-out. Missy Beefcake told him $70. He ran off, got his credit card from his girlfriend, came back. She cashed in the credit card, and Beefer did a shoot for him.
Right. Right.
Oh, and by the way, Jimmy, how long did we have to hear that Missy Beefcake knew his name from high school? How many months did we have to listen to that? That was the big joke between us all, right? What a moron. He really was crazy about it.
And after all of that, all it took was one question to Missy Beefcake, and she buried him like a box, like a pine box, you know? I mean, you didn't learn anything.
Did you really feel bad? You felt bad, huh?
What bothers me is he didn't learn anything from that. How do you not learn anything from that? I mean, for God's sakes, for a guy who claims that he knows the business, you don't. You obviously don't. Okay?
Right, hold on. I got to ask a question. Luce wrote that Missy's stuff was uber cringe. Was it uber cringe the way she was talking about him, Luce, or was it just uber cringe in overall? That's what I want to know. R.J. Hudson says, "What a day's biggest mistake is how How is he different other than that he reads news, which isn't different?" That's what he does. He reads news and takes people's music and takes their videos and posts them like his own. And how many copyright strikes did we get that I had to start screaming at him? Everybody was there. Oh, Luce says the way he kept bringing it up. Luce, exactly. We used to all be like, when is he going to shut up? I remember the next show after the Missy Beefcake interview, Jimmy, he was on there, and he had to play it for the group, and they're all shaking their head. That's Bruce. That's Phil. That's ESO. They're like, is this guy a fucking jackass?
Right. One last thing. Joe, if you think that everything that's happening right now and our response to you right now, that you are 0% at fault, you got to turn your laptop off and just go think for a while, okay? Because you are not free of blame. Not even close.
No, he is. No, you know what? He is to blame. He is to blame from shadow boxing the channel. He is to blame for attacking Bruce from the start. He is the shame for talking trash about everybody. Okay?
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Let me make it clear out there so everybody understands something. And I've said this to Jimmy, and I've said it to Benny, and I've said it to Bruce and everything else. Joe thinks he's a professional. And Joe had a professional respect for Jimmy and a professional respect for Dan, okay? He just did. He thought they were high-level, presenters or talent, for lack of a better word, right?
All right.
But he thought I was a hack. He thought Phil was a hack. He thought Bruce was a hack, and he thought Benny was a hack. Phil, I don't know if he thought you were a hack. That's probably an unfair comment. I'm trying to give the truth right here, okay? These are the facts, okay? And here's the deal. He was a very self-centered human being. And again, it didn't matter to me. Put your programming on. If you get more views for the channel, it's good. I'm happy. More views means that we're building the channel.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Unfortunately, everything he did got us nothing.
He did not. He did not bring big numbers at all, not even close. And that's another thing. It's like, you're really going to keep telling us how we should do stuff? Bro, you completely took a shit on us. You didn't even realize it. And we even had a phone call with you trying to nicely say,
you're taking a shit on us. Yeah, slow down and take a break.
Slow down.
Yeah.
Slow the fuck down. What the fuck are you doing? And instead of realizing it and doing a little
do you remember when we brought up?
self-inspection.
Remember when we brought up the email to him? How he tried to play stupid? Oh, I'm really
Right.
surprised. I didn't know the
Right.
email was it. I thought it was going to be something else. He was licking balls bigger than whatever,
Right.
dude.
Right. Well,
Wait a minute. Jay
I know
Will
that-
says you guys have very good broadcasting skill. In my line of work, some of the best people don't have formal training. Jay, that means a lot to us, really. It does.
thank you, Jay.
You know,
Appreciate
look,
that.
At no point do I think I'm a pro. I don't think Jimmy thinks he's a pro. But you know what? On a partnership level, I find, and I think everybody finds Jimmy very entertaining. Jimmy has a certain niche for this, and I'll be honest with you. I think as a pair, we do pretty well together. Obviously, by the success of the show, right? Again, we all have our strengths and weaknesses in life, but again, I'm letting a nobody get in my head, and that's what I'm trying to avoid, right? I don't need a nobody in my head. I got enough somebodies in my head. I don't need nobodies. And this is a competition.
It is.
Phil says he's Switzerland. Of course you are, Phil. Phil, you're as Switzerland as it. There's a race between you and Benny who's more Switzerland. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, no, wait a minute. Now, Phil's winning that one. What are you talking about?
I don't know, man. If you call Benny up, you call him, and you tell him the sky's red, he'll go, Jimmy, yeah, that's right, the sky's red. And then I'll call him right after and say the sky's purple. Benny will go, yeah, it's purple.
Not necessarily. I think that Benny has plenty of his... Look, Benny has a spine, okay? That's what I'm trying to get at here. Benny has a spinal cord. He's a good human being.
He's a good guy.
And that's what I'm saying. I'm not saying if I say the sky's red. What am I, Charles Manson? Benny, the sky's red, right?
Yes.
No.
Yes, Farrell.
No.
It is.
No. You stop that. Oh, my God. That's horrible. You know? And Phil's not Switzerland. I'll tell you what Phil is. Phil's a genius.
He is a genius.
Okay?
He is a genius.
He's a genius.
I was about to say the same thing.
He stays the hell out of the getting dragged into sixth grader games.
But
I'll admit, I couldn't help it. It's my fault that we started this conversation.
Just like anything else, Jimmy, we all have roles, right? So Phil's the get-along guy. Bruce is kind of like the in the background, lovable little teddy bear. Benny is like the ear. He'll listen to what everybody's got to say.
Yeah.
Dan's on his own. Dan's on his own planet.
With his cats.
You're kind of like the puppet master in a lot of ways, right?
I'm the puppet master,
and I'm the executioner, right? My role is the executioner, right? The judge, jury, and executioner. So to end this show, and we'll see everybody at 9:00. Joe, what a day! You've been executed by me, and it's not over yet. And you know what I'm talking about. I don't think you'll have a channel in a couple of days, but we'll see later. Best of luck, Joe. Jimmy, send us out. We'll see you guys on the main show. We love you all.
You've been watching what was supposed to be This Week in Wrestling. What a show! Later.